AQC. Hey, Bobby, or am I just always waffling? The cool and the king, keeping it real. Three Spurs boys gang, giving the feels. Kuva offloading, spitting out facts. Bobby reloading, this was not a rest. Cool and the king, actually talk football's going off with a bang. You better hang on, y'all. Cool and the king, actually talk football's neat place to hang. Flying off the wall. And the king, actually talk football. Cool and the king, actually talk football. Cool and the king, actually talk football. Cool.
Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning to you wherever you are in the world. Welcome back to the Three Spurs Boys and another episode here of ATF, Actually Talk Football, with myself, BobbyK, and the legend that is Kuva 99. Good
Hey,
afternoon.
you're the legend, buddy.
In my own mind.
It's good enough.
Yeah, it's got to exist somewhere, right? How are you, Coos?
Oh yeah. We'll do it.
Yeah, well, here we are back with another football show, buddy. We're going to make an honest attempt to try to talk about this stuff.
Just gotta say, I know we did the intro between us, but the way the music picks up when Kane scores that belter against the Gooners. Hey,
Come on now, he's
Mwah.
celebrating. It's beautiful.
Absolutely.
At least
absolutely.
one part of the entire video, I got the timing right. The rest is just stuff thrown in there.
It's good though. It's good.
It
Though.
worked out well, man. I'm loving the song you made, and that is another production from the Norwindian Sexpot Studios. So for any of those that want your music needs fulfilled, Kuva is available for hire. He is not cheap. Just so you know. They don't,
Really cheap.
they don't know that.
That's true. That's true.
You can milk a couple of something out of it, get you free Nando's or something. Why not, right?
Hey, I'll work for food always.
Don't we all?
Yeah, but just food. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Oh, hell yeah. Come on.
Anyway, we're digressing, aren't we? We've got
Well,
action.
wait, somebody's using the
program.
fancy words early in the show, eh? Okay, then.
I just spotted it somewhere today. I think it was on a bit of paper or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
so,
So say hello to people in the chat and get warmed up.
we will. All three of them, is it?
Oh, there's actually 13 already for some reason have joined us and to see what kind of madness we'll make up. But Adrian was first. So good evening to you, Adrian. Nice
Big
to
up,
see you
Adrian.
in here. Kate's already here as well. Good evening. Good evening, my faves. Look at two faves of ours calling us faves. How nice. Raketix. Oh, he's loving the song. Nice one, buddy. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I know he heard an early preview of it because I was listening to it while I was gaming with him and Darren yesterday, Korsky there. So Eugene S is here. He can finally catch us. Yeah, good morning, man. Good afternoon. Or
Pick up.
yeah. Eugene is just in out of Raketix. Simon's here. Good evening, Simon. Good to see you, mate. Good afternoon, Andrew Gregory. Good to see you, Andrew. Hope you're doing well today. Stuart's in the house. Good evening, Bobby and Kuva in the chat. Flip-flopped earlier. First I thought you were Karen, then you thought it was Darren. Then I was like, yeah, you know what? You have to flip-flop in that show because that's the only way you get an answer right. Ian Ferguson's in here. Good afternoon, Sunshine. Good to see you as well. I was just saying hi to Dan's in here. Good afternoon, Dan. Good to see you, mate. Ronnie's in the house as well. Good to see you, Ronnie. Cheers. Kuva's, what do you mean just today? Jackie, statements like this actually disappoint me because he is sexy and handsome every day.
Yeah, we can play it that way round. Well, I'm here for the eye candy and you're here for the music lyrics.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe. You should totally do one.
Should we do a Bollywood style one?
Oh, hell yeah. BobbyK Productions. Yeah. Oh, my God, yeah.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling.
Do it for Christmas. We've got time then.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling Productions.
I like it. Yes.
So, Coos, we do have a few things that we're going to talk about today. I don't know. We'll start with the fact that we have named the show We're still flipping and flopping. There's a lot of fans that seem to be doing it as well. But what we've noticed, and I know you saw this the other day, I had a bit of an explosion on our dear friend Jacob at United Spurs of America's show,
What do
where
you mean by that?
where I got a little bit irritated by somebody in the chat, which very rarely happens. I let somebody trigger me, and I think I was influenced by other things that might have not brought us the best of me.
Sometimes you just got to let it out. Sometimes there's no harm done.
Yeah, but I think I made it personal a bit, which was not my intent. So to that person, I do apologize. It wasn't meant to be a personal attack. I just got annoyed with the fact that you did not like my opinion or the fact that I was happy clapping, and I had no issue with any of your opinions. Feel free to support the club however you see fit. On that topic, I will ask you, Kuv, why is it, as a football fan, why is it so hard to accept different opinions? I don't know if it's as harsh as it is with other teams and their channels, but it seems in the Spurs fan base that we have to have a divide, and you are either with me or against me. There's no acceptance of just saying, that's your opinion, no problem. I have mine, you have yours. Any kind of reasoning to that, or is there anything you can think of what justifies this nonsense?
No idea. Let's move on.
All right, then.
No.
So, the whole show, folks, so I'll just run the credits now.
It's a huge topic, really, isn't it? And I think at basis, it comes down to the fact that football, for many, does have its roots in tribalism. It's the you want your champion to go out and beat the other one, as it were. It used to be done in the old days, with going out, the cavemen with clubs having a go at each other, but and you cheer on your fella from your cave against the other one. So football's kind of a glorified version of that, and you insert yourself into that sense of tribalism and belonging to each club. Not everybody does that, and here's where the problem starts. Because for some people, football's take it or leave it. For some people, it's not the most important thing in life. And they're quite content to, there we go. You're a prime example. Yep. From my point of view, we're of similar age. Yeah, I've supported since I was 5 years old, and you supported since you're about what, 20?
16.
20? 16. All right, getting onto that sort of time frame. But so I'm brought up, like, literally when I was in the pram, my parents would have me spinning the rattle round and shout up the Spurs. It was almost my first words. I think I said dup does. That was supposed to be up the Spurs at the time. But dup does. Yeah, it's not even an Indian word. Or is it? I'll check with you later. So there's different ways of getting into the team, and it means different things to different people. Where I grew up, initially, I'm from North London, so I'm used to being around people at an early age where life centres around the football club. Yeah. And there's no daily coverage of football like there is now. It wasn't saturated. It was big events every weekend. It was the main match. It was something you'd look forward to. It was build up the whole week. Was like a mini cup final build up. And it was important. It really mattered because there was that sense of anticipation. The match itself was always huge because that was your time to shine, and then you'd have to wait an entire week, and it would seem to take forever for the next match to come along. And if you won, it was fantastic. Life's great. And if you didn't win, it was the end of the world. It was your week's ruined, and you're consoling each other and then scowling at the other lot that have just won, especially on North London derbies. My God, that was the be all and end all. That's life or death. And we used to, in this, especially in England, an old quote, I think it might have been Bill Paisley or someone along those lines, one of the ex-Liverpool managers. And their famous quote was, football isn't a matter of life or death. It's far more important than that. Yeah. And for a lot of people growing up, certainly in this country, I know it's the same in other countries as well with different sports too. When you're growing up in that environment and it's such a big part of life, it really does feel that way. Shankly, that's right, Stuart. Yeah, I knew it was a Liverpool boss. So you've got that kind of all-in tribalism, everything for the team. I don't care about how we play. We just got to win, no matter what. It is life or death. There's that side of it. That's at that end of the spectrum. And the longer time's gone on, football more available to everybody. You can just watch a different game. If your team loses, you can just tune in, watch somebody else, even in a different league in another country. No problem. Coverage is everywhere, and you sort of get on with it and you just shrug it off more. And the attitude's different because it's a convenient product now for a lot of people, and it has the word product really does come out now because it is packaged and it's sold, really, isn't it? Football, especially when you look at the TV rights and internet subscriptions and everything, it's there. It's a service. It's available. You can tap into it. It's not the same as it used to be. So times have changed.
But that being said, though, Coos, with the times being changed, it's kind of like, when we were younger, we had to wait till Saturday mornings for cartoons almost once a week, and there was that build up to it, that excitement, that anticipation. Has it been kind of, shall we say, diluted because of the availability of it and the fact that the game is global now?
I'd say so.
Fans across the world aren't going to have the passions. Like, there's no way I could ever, I think, hit heights of the passion that somebody born and bred in the Tottenham area would ever have.
And a certain era as well. Like I said, when I grew up, and people were even luckier than me, grew up in that time, the glorious times in the 60s when we were the Super Spurs. You become accustomed to a certain style and success rate with your football team. And it becomes, that is an expectation, and it's carried on. So constantly for me, I get annoyed about this club because they are not doing what I was used to, what I was brought up watching. And it hasn't happened for a long time now.
Right, just on that point, though, it hasn't happened for a long time. So I've come in at 92 after our last FA Cup win.
Yeah.
I've seen, I didn't see the 96 win, the League Cup win, because it wasn't on TV or anything here. And after that, I've seen one League Cup lifted in 2008. Patty makes a good point here. The day Sky Sports got hold of the TV rights for most of the games was the day football died for most fans. Yeah. There's also that with the NFL, where there's a lot of ex-players and ex-alumni that would say that as soon as they stopped an American football game for a TV commercial was the day that was ruined. So is it the commercialization of almost all sports that's kind of taken away passion because you're trying to grow the fan base as much as you can, but you're not going to get fans at the same level of commitment that you've had that are diehards kind of thing?
Yeah, ultimately, the commercialization has just meant more football, hasn't it? A lot of people love Christmas, but if you had Christmas every day, it would lose its meaning. I feel that's what's happened with football in a lot of ways. The biggest one of the lot for me was always the FA Cup. Now, back in the 80s, there wasn't football every day on TV. You'd have to wait for games. And the build up to the FA Cup, which was always the final game of the season, there'll be a whole week build up of, chat shows, radio programs talking about it, newspaper articles. You'd wait for your newspaper on the FA Cup final day, open the centre spread where it's got all the teams laid out and how you'd expect to see the formations and people giving tips and how well the player's been doing, little profiles and everything. You'd read that. You'd go on to teletext. You'd then watch Football Focus or St. and Greavesy in England. Then you go back to the paper, read it again, even though you've already seen it. It's cup final day. You're trying to get everything out of it possible. And the anticipation and that build up for that whole week is something that just doesn't happen now. It's for me, it feels almost meaningless now, the FA Cup final week, which is a real shame because it used to be a highlight of the season. You'd get people winning the league, teams winning the league, the Liverpools, the Evertons in the 80s, for example. And it'll be, kind of expect that. But the big game everybody wanted to be FA Cup final day. You wanted to see your player with the FA Cup on his head while people are pouring champagne in it and everything. And it's like ribbons and things flying around everywhere. It was such an occasion. And it's been lost. It really has. We've been not force-fed, but it's overindulgence in football for me. So it is very much based on era, where you are in the world. That has an effect on it. And of course, you just football in general has changed that much now. I don't feel it's the same anymore. You look at what's happened with our stadium, for example. Back in the day, White Hart Lane, football stadium. That's it. That's all you needed to know. Yeah. And if they put a boxing event on, it was the boxing event at White Hart Lane, a football stadium. But nowadays, it's the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, but it's anything, isn't it? It's anything it wants to be. The character's gone. It's money. It's all chasing money, isn't it? And money, convenience, and that bottom line for a lot of people. Ownerships are taken over that want to make money rather than be the custodians of an actual team. Whereas back in the day, it used to be families that were running football clubs. You didn't know who a chairman was. You didn't need to.
But
Now he's more famous than the club.
Weren't most businesses like that, to be fair, too, though? You know, you
Yeah,
go back and on our parents' age, and even us as we were young, there were the jobs that you know where you were going to be in for 20, 25 years. Now there's no sense of loyalty on either side. It's business, like you said. And it's like what Ian just said, it's the over commercialization here.
Yeah, it is. It all comes down to the same thing, doesn't it? It's chasing money. As soon as those big influxes of money came into the game, I think it was ruined. That changed. Ultimately, that's changed the type of fan you will see around nowadays as well, because convenience football for a convenience fan, perhaps. There'll be a lot of fans I do not understand. It's a different mindset entirely, but how can I say they're wrong if they're going to pay their money and watch? What else are they supposed to do? I mean, they're doing nothing wrong, but I won't understand them. However, tensions rise then, because when things aren't going well, when your team isn't winning things, you're looking at somebody else who's quite happy about it, or not really too worried about it. And while inside in yourself, you're getting torn up about it. He's so angry about, I've seen what this club's supposed to be and what it always used to be, and now we're putting up with this crap. Where somebody else's perspective is, look where we were a few seasons back, where we've got this amazing stadium. It's a hell of an experience the day out. I don't understand that, but how can I say they're wrong? So for some people, it is just too much. As soon as a football debate happens, then there's kind of like a line drawn in the sand. You're with me or you're against me.
Yeah, that's what it is now. That's how it seems, though.
And then that's the bigger than situation, then, isn't it? About social media, everybody's got a soapbox to stand on to give their opinion. The trouble is everybody expects their opinion to be listened to and respected, like it's the one that matters more, when it isn't. All we're doing on YouTube is talking bullshit. We're just fans. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day, but it does to a lot of people. That's the trouble. It's frustration with what's happening at the club for a lot of people I know, myself included, and it can lead to anger. If something you absolutely love to bits and is part of your life is suddenly misbehaving, and you want that sort of hate behavior fixed, and you're surrounded by a few people that aren't bothered about it, you start to resent them a bit. It's why can't you see it my way? This club should be better. What's wrong with you? But to them, it doesn't matter.
The flip side to that is, like, I get some of that now, especially recently, because with everything that I've got going on in my personal life, I choose as football as an outlet, as a positive outlet. God forbid we lose or we have a poor display, for instance, the Brighton game, then I am pissed off and everything. Do I let it bring me down for the entire day and affect my family? Because over here, the games are 5 hours earlier. So, when I'm getting up and watching the game at 7:30 in the morning, we're done by 9 o'clock, 9:30. Am I supposed to effectively say the rest of my day now is a complete write-off, or my weekend, shall we say, if it's a Saturday morning kickoff? That's kind of where, to me, I won't, because I know there is something more important to me.
It's a cultural thing as well, isn't it? I mean, I look at some of the sports like over in America where you'll have, say, an ice hockey match. You can have the home fans and the away fans together, not a problem. That's just the way it is. It's seen as sport, so it's aggressive sort of being a fan at the time, but there's a sort of separation there. In England, you can't put Millwall and Chelsea fans together and expect nothing to happen. There's going to be somebody's going to get killed.
Millwall fans with anybody.
Yeah, true. Lots of police dogs, maybe. Yeah, so there is that cultural side of it. In England, in particular, over its history, has been a warlike nation. We don't get an empire by being nice. So we've certainly done our bit. And that kind of attitude does spill into sports. Again, it's back to tribalism and, you know, wanting to put one over on somebody else, feeling better about yourself by dominating another. Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult, but there are certainly different opinions, and it's very difficult to reconcile one with another. If you're totally bought into one way of looking at sport and what you need from it, how could you listen to somebody else that doesn't agree with it? They don't make sense to you. Question is, how do you deal with it? Get angry and insult them, or just back away from it? It's a difficult one.
Well, it seems to be now, though, within our own fan base, it's easier to insult and attack and degrade. That is where my confusion lies. If we all support the same team, how I choose to support them versus how you choose to support them, we still support the team. The bottom line is we still want the same things. How determined we are, or how, I guess, shall we say, I don't know, involved we are with it at a personal level is the major difference between us. Some people have no problem completely ruining their day, and they feel that if you haven't ruined your day, you're really not a true fan. If you're not upset to the point where everything in life around you is utterly crap because your team is lost, then you are not a real fan. I've never really understood, because again, we come in, like you said, even though we're similar in age, we almost came in we did come in at different parts. You were born and bred into supporting this team. I got to choose what team I wanted through a cousin, and at the point, I didn't have any football fans around me here in this country. The handful that were always Manchester United, Liverpool, Chelsea were the three big ones. A sprinkle of Arsenal fans, but they were the big ones. You know, it was always majority Man United fan, Man United men, and they were used to winning, so they were always happy. At the time I came in, we were 14th when I started supporting Spurs. So it's like, do I then not count? Am I discarded? Am I not as important? Because again, because I haven't seen a certain, like what you've seen with my own eyes, to say, hold on a second, no, that's what I'm used to, because this is what I'm used to. You're used to this. Older fans now, we go back and they're used to this.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
so, and is that what, do you think the trickle down effect is also affected by the age ranges of our supporters?
Without doubt, age isn't a factor as well, because even before my time, you wouldn't have football violence sort of erupted very late 60s, early 70s, and it was unheard of before that. People used to behave. So that does put in mind the sort of cultural side of things. The nations change, countries change, society changes. So your appreciation and your understanding of what you're seeing in the football matches, it reflects what's going on in the country in a lot of ways. You start seeing when the standard becomes go out drinking, shout insults at the opposition, you're creating a nasty atmosphere. But it becomes the norm at some point. In some countries, well, I will say some countries, it's been mostly us that we're known for it, and a few of the European countries joining in as well. But again, compare that to what goes on in some of the South American games. We would consider them absolutely insane, but it's the norm for them. So if we went over and started supporting one of their clubs, say an Argentinian club, River Plate or something like that, and you get in and you're not as fanatic as the local fans are, then you're going to get questioned. You're not a real fan. It's the same thing. You either fit in completely, or you're kind of on that fringe. It's a bit sad in a way, but that's just the way it is, isn't it? You can't change an entire nation's attitude and make it reconcile with a different one just that easily. It's a long-term sort of thing. I think in time, people will just get used to football being a global thing. We're probably going to see the team, all teams going on the road, really, going on tours
and stuff.
I think it will all change at that point. It has to.
Yeah. Steve D's made a very nice comment here. Old Missy days were insults only directly up the opposition, and that's where I was. I noticed when I started supporting football that the banter was between clubs, not at your own. And I said this on Jacobs the other day. It wasn't until I came into this YouTubing world that I really learned more about my own football club. I had no idea who Daniel Levy, Donna Cullen, and all these people were. I would watch the 11 players that started the game, the handful of subs that might be made through the game, and whatever manager was behind the bench, and whoever started that game, I was behind, because there's absolutely nothing at the time that I could do or say, screaming and shouting about, oh, I don't want this guy as my manager. Oh, why is this guy starting? This man should be playing it. There's nothing I could do to impact that. So I chose to just sit there and happy clap away behind what's in front of me, because I support the team. The badge overall is an element. And that's why Steve's comment actually, to me, is relatable, because, again, I never saw the inner fighting. I never saw the civil war, almost, in a sense, right? And big up Ellie's in the here. Patty's got a nice comment here, and I know we've discussed this before. I would be considered a tourist fan, and nothing bugs him more than actually hearing that, because he feels that every fan is a fan. If you support the club, you support the club, and that's the way I've always felt. I don't care if you're the one that knows every single player, where they were born, when they were born, what academy they came through, who their parents are, you know, what little team they played for when they were 5 years old, versus, oh, I think I've heard of Harry Kane. He's our he plays striker, right? Like, that's never bothered me, because at the end of the day, if you're going to sit beside me and we're both going to cheer when Tottenham scores, I'm cool with that. I don't care how little knowledge you have or how grand your knowledge is, or if you're an encyclopedia. But I've said this before. I feel that the club is almost leaning towards this is what they want, because then there's no questions. Then there's no protest. There's nobody questioning why we're not winning. We've accepted. Over 20 years, this has kind of gone on now, where the acceptance has been that we'll just qualify for Champions League, and the mediocrity has been accepted. And this is what I know bothers a lot of the generational fans, the older fans, the real true diehards, that pisses them off, because they're like, you're not a real fan, because you're still okay with saying that, oh, we're happy we signed Odegaard. You're happy we spent 45 million on Johnson when we should have spent 40 million on somebody that's a bit more proven or a couple of years older. Who's to say how that would have worked out? To me, I always sit there and look at, like, for instance, this last West Ham match. We saw Ange take Maddison off at half. I thought it was an injury. And I'm sure, I don't know what you thought when you saw him coming off. I didn't realize that he was actually making a tactical change. One, because it's not something we're used to seeing. And two, you know, Maddison, considered on paper one of our best players, now he's sitting on the bench with, you know, his hoodie on, looking pissed off, which is kind of what I want to see. I want him to look pissed off, because he wants to fight for his spot then. If he's sitting on the bench, joking, cheering, arm around the guys, having a laugh kind of thing, then that to me is a guy that doesn't really want to fight for his spot. But that being said, when that change happened and we saw the dynamic and everything change, if Sarr wasn't impactful, if we didn't come out and smash that 15 minutes the way we did and really take that game, would there have been the questions on Ange? Why did you make that sub? Why did you do this? It's the hate parade kind of comes out then. So it's either praise or hate. There's no in between. Am I wrong in saying that kind of?
Yeah, that's always been the case, I think. So certainly modern times. Everything's highlighted as well. So any decision that is made, but when you didn't have to have the constant replays on TV all over the place as well back in the day. So you'd watch a game, you'd maybe watch match of the day, and that's it. It's over for another week. Whereas now it's replayed over and over, highlighted, every minute detail analysed with loads of experts, or I should say experts in the studios and online. So it doesn't get forgotten. It's picked up on. Everything is micro-analysed even. So yeah, I think it's a bit harsh on managers, but that is what they pay big money for nowadays. And it is big money. They've got to make these decisions, and they live or die by those decisions. Unfortunately for some of them, but others making a very good living out of doing it well. So yeah, it's harsh. It is harsh. So all criticism when it comes to the players and the managers, of course, because you're up against another team after all. Unless it's a draw, then somebody's going home as losers, and there's going to be the blame game going on for one way or another. Somebody's getting blamed for it. What do you do? That's the nature of the beast, unfortunately. That's elite sports, or supposed to be elite sports. There is only one winner and everybody else loses. So you want to be that winner, you've got to start criticizing. Question is, do you do it fairly? Are you criticizing the right things? That's very debatable. But it all comes from emotion, though. At the end of the day, it's an emotional game. It's supposed to be. Why watch it if it doesn't evoke any emotion whatsoever? People say they don't care about what the football's like, or just got to win. And I thought, do you really want to watch grinding football where they say one penalty and that's the only thing that ever happens in a penalty area in a game?
And you sleep for 70 minutes of the game.
I couldn't watch that. No way. That's when you start just look up the results and don't bother with the actual live action. But it's modern times. Everything's under the microscope all the time. You just can't get away with it. So,
and managers, more so now, especially with social media and everything too, because the attacks are that much more grander. And also, like you said, with the technology, we're able to go back and see. You know, back in the day, you'd watch a game. There was no replays and stuff. Even you didn't see where the player made a mistake. Now there's 17 different angle replays of everything. Everything's slowed down. And
VAR, my God,
VAR, everything. There's so many things.
And now you even look at Man City fans. They're criticizing Pep at times.
We'll come back to the check.
Pep Guardiola gets criticism. Why, my God, what, are they not winning enough? Wow, it's just the way it is. It's so accessible to everybody. Everybody can be an armchair manager. Everybody can make the right decision, but because based on hindsight and multiple replays and everything. But the fact is, we are still fans. I think sometimes we forget that. As a collective, I'm as guilty as anybody else of that. And you get carried away with stuff. So of course, then it's back to the soapbox. You have your opinion. You want everybody to listen to it. You want yours to be recognised as valid, even if it's at the expense of somebody else's. So even that's a competition now. Even the YouTubing's tribalism at times now. You get your Ange out, Ange out camps, Levy in, Levy out. It's you take your pick. Unless the team's winning literally every game 5-0, and we've won every trophy there is in a season, I think maybe then some people will maybe find something to complain about. But most
there would be 100%. I even said this. I think I said this on Jacobs the other day when I said we could win the League Cup and the Europa Cup this year, and it still wouldn't be enough. But what's funny to me, and I was thinking about this the other day, and I know I kind of addressed it with you, is that we're sitting here griping over this current regime and the fact that in 23 years, how pitiful they've been and what little they've brought to us. But it's been over 60 years since we won the league.
It's a long time.
So, like, shouldn't there be a lot more anger? Like, I see a lot of hatred towards the last 20 some odd years. I don't see that. So, isn't the ultimate goal to win the ultimate prize?
It is for me.
So then shouldn't people be pissed off more about what's happened in 60 years, not just the last 23 under Enoch?
Yeah, but there are consolation prizes are nice, which will be other trophies. UEFA Cup's rather nice to win. FA Cups are definitely nice to win, so are League Cups.
But with the gap that we've had so long, that's what I'm asking, Cooves. Will that satisfy people?
I think winning the league is going to massively change people's opinion on a current manager at that point.
No, I'm not talking about the league. I'm talking about everything else. Let's say we took the EFL Cup.
Everything else but the league.
We took the Europa. Everything else but the league.
Still going to win the league. I wouldn't be satisfied with just that. I'd say great, good season, but now let's push on and win this bloody league because we're so overdue. And this is a club with the resources where we should be going for the league every time. Yeah, exactly.
Jacob's in a mood today. You can tell. I love when Jacob's in a mood, man. My best part of that show was I went off on Jacobs and I had to turn and apologize to him because I'd never done that before on our show, his show, anybody else's show.
Yes.
And his reaction was like, "That was awesome."
Yeah, exactly. Just let it out.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. It's an emotional game. If you say what you feel about it, it kind of leads on to another question that we had lined up as well, doesn't it?
We
Perhaps
do.
we'll get to it. Yeah, not some fans will moan, some fans moan, some don't. It's the way it is.
Yeah,
if you're not
but we did have this
ultimately,
lined
if you're always starved of something you crave, you're likely to moan about it. For me, I'm desperate to see us win the league in my lifetime. I really am.
Yeah.
And I think we are a club that should be in a position to challenge for it all the time. There's several clubs like it, though. Underperforming clubs over the years. Villa's another one. Newcastle's another one. Leeds, you could say, in that group as well. Teams that should be right up there challenging it season after season. And there should be about 8, 9, 10 clubs that any of them's capable of winning the league. But we just haven't seen that. They've seen badly run clubs right through. We're not the only one doing it. And it's not because the Man Uniteds, the Liverpools have just been that much better than the rest of us. It's we haven't kept up with their standards. You see what happens when Man United do start getting things wrong. They slip down the table very easily.
Yeah.
Liverpool were in the wilderness for a while.
They've picked up here and there, though. They've picked up a little trophy here and there. They picked up a Europa League under Mourinho. They picked up what the hell did they win the last year? They won the League Cup last year, wasn't it? They won 2 trophies under Ten Hag already.
Yeah. Well, the
FA Cup.
FA Cup Man United FA Cup last season, wasn't it? Beat Man City.
So they won the FA Cup, and there was another one too.
They won the League Cup as well, didn't they?
It is the League Cup. But regardless, even them at their worst are still picking up trophies, and that's where I understand when that angle is used. It's kind of hard to argue with fans to say, "Hold on, them at their worst, they're still picking up something." Like you said, kind of the fill-in trophies kind of thing to lead to the build-up. Dan made a good point here, saying those cups are stepping stones basically to win the league, to build that confidence in the team. We've got a team and a board and a whole club basically that has accepted this mentality of just going out there and doing our best. And that's where the divide has come, because some of us have accepted that, well, okay, guys, at least you tried your best, to, are you effing kidding me? Is that all we got? With nothing in the middle.
Well, the thing, it sort of answers this question as well. What happens if we win a trophy against the bottom 10 team? Can we be happy? Yeah, of course we can. You look at Man City. Man City, when they went through that phase of winning the League Cups back to back, almost every season,
Hey, Jordan.
they were always celebrating it like it was a major event. You look at some of the more minor European trophies, Europa Conference trophy. Look at the teams winning that. Do they look like they're not having a great time holding that trophy up and the fans going wild?
Yeah,
of course they are. It's a trophy. That is what it's about. So I'll take any, absolutely any. But like I said, I grew up with the belief that we should win the league at some point. I've still got that belief. We should do. And I said the same. I mentioned several other clubs that should be in the same boat. Well, there should be so many challenging for that title season after season, and just not doing it. It's badly run clubs for a lot of years. Everton, I didn't even mention them. Look at the state they're in. That should never have happened. When I was in my teens, they were one of the top clubs in the country. They're winning the league. They're winning FA Cups. They were like a go-to. Liverpool and Everton in the mid-'80s, carving things up between them. They provide most of the players to the England team back in those days. Great side. But
through the late 90s and early 2000s, we had quite a few boys in the England squad as well.
Yeah, I know not that we're winning at club level. Yeah.
That's where I would end up seeing them, because I could never watch the league because the games weren't on television yet, right? Maybe, if you were lucky back then, you might get 3 or 4 Spurs games on TV, and that was only when they were playing the Man United, the Chelseas, the Liverpool, or something like that. That's about it. If you want to see Spurs players like myself, I'd have to wait to see international matches. And then I would say Genius and Defoe and everything, Paul Walker getting in there, and Paul Robinson getting in there, and wrong Paul.
Paul
But,
Walker wasn't he the one off?
He's Fast and Furious guy. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
just
so
reading a thing about him.
looks a little bit. Looks like he's been out in the sunshine a little bit too much now.
I'm not going to comment on that. Dan is saying he would take a cup and 12th.
Yep.
I would agree with him. I would take it. You're saying yes right away. I didn't even have to turn to you. I'm sure a handful of people in here would say yes. For those of you, actually, if you could just let us know, yes or no, would you take 12th and a cup? Me and Kuva have already said yes. Dan obviously is the one that's suggesting it, so he's saying yes. Does that mean we have low standards?
Oh, so I've got an easy way of expanding on that. Is I wouldn't accept it if it was we finished 12th, won a cup, and then it's like take your foot off the gas and everything's okay again for the next 5 years. No. You've got to win something and then push on, win multiple things.
That's what Steve's pretty much saying right here.
Yeah.
He's saying pointless winning a trophy. People just means nothing unless we do it every season. Yeah. So spot on with that, Steve. Jordan, football is about emotions, not just basing it. Yeah. And that's the thing, though, Jordan. That's what we're kind of talking about here, buddy, that it seems that your emotions have to be the same as my emotions, or one of us is not a real fan. The debate on which one and how that's determined is yet to be kind of resolved, but I don't know. Jackie's saying, why are we so negative? We won the Tiger Cup and the Audi Cup. Who said we're negative? Who said we're negative? Actually, speaking of Jackie, he did have a question here I started earlier. Spurs history is kind of muddy. Is it because the club doesn't like to bring it up? Or what he is saying, he said didn't know who Clive Allen was. He'd never seen the fellow before. I don't know about why it's muddy to you, because when I was there, I actually, in the stadium, I saw quite a bit of stuff going into the history and stuff, especially all the stuff available for sale in the Spurs shop. You see what I did there, right? I know you did.
Yeah, I did see we did that. Yeah.
I
wouldn't say it's a muddy history, but Clive Allen in particular, yeah, record season. He had 49 goals, but at the end of the day, he didn't win anything. And those are the bits that get remembered. If he had scored those goals and Tottenham won the league, you'd hear his name all the time.
And is that what would have immortalized Harry Kane then? Is it the fact that he left here without a trophy?
Yeah,
is that what kind of leaves him almost in the shadows of other greats that we've had in the past?
At some point, we will get another great goal scorer. It's inevitable. All clubs do. They eventually do break their old records. Whether we break it or not, or whether he breaks it or not, or gets closer, it doesn't matter. The point was, if Harry Kane had walked away with, a few FA Cups, a league title, maybe even a Champions League, who knows? If he'd done all of that, we'd be talking about one of our greatest ever players without doubt. There'd be like nobody could question him coming up in the conversations. Whereas at the moment, you talk about Harry Kane, where he didn't win anything though, did he? So he's a great striker, but was he an all-time great for the club? There's a debate then all of a sudden. Throw in a few trophies. It's a lot easier to speak his name in that sense. That's what you do though. Who goes up on? Who used to go up on my bedroom wall on a poster? It was always the likes of Gary Mabbott lifting an FA Cup, Steve Perryman lifting an FA Cup, and so on. I'm not going to put like the number 2 up there, or a couple of 4s and a 5 for league finishes. They don't mean anything.
Well, this is what Dan is saying here. We need that cup to push us on. It's pointless finishing 4th or 5th each year, because what does that achieve? In reality, what it achieves is lining the pocketbooks, right? But Tom made a great point here.
Yeah.
What changed since we won in 2008? It didn't push us on.
Exactly. And then the manager was gone the next season.
Simon's asking, would we take the Leicester City, win the league, and the next season get relegated?
I would.
It's funny because Little K asked me this as one of those hypotheticals. I think it was this morning over breakfast. He goes to me, Dad, would you rather, would you accept this scenario? Or what would you rather have? Arsenal win the league, but or sorry, we win the league before, but we get relegated next year, or we don't win anything, and Arsenal doesn't win anything. Yeah, you know what I mean? And it did kind of invoke a lot of thought and quite the conversation this morning, because I was like, do I love my team more than I hate them is kind of what it came down to.
I think this is the problem.
Yes.
There we go. I mean, if you said that to me after we'd just won, in the 80s, and we'd just won the UEFA Cup and things like that, that'd be crazy talk to me. You take the trophy every time. The feeling of watching your team lifting a major trophy there's a euphoria you can't match. I could take relegation if it meant winning the league. We just come back again, win it again after that. It's memories.
I don't know that memory. I don't know that feeling. And a lot of fans
get relegated
over in the last 10 years have never had that feeling.
I've seen us be relegated. All right, I was a little kid at the time. Didn't really mean a lot, to be fair. But I know the sadness that went around it. I'll see the sort of teared look in my dad's eyes when we got relegated. I remember that. But then I remember us coming up again and winning FA Cups. And we going crazy about it. I want that feeling back again. I should do. Like I said, we are a club that should be doing things like this, winning trophies. I'm not buying into all this crap that, it's all divided up about this few little handful of teams that have worked hard for it and they're a level above us. They're a level above us because we've let them, because Newcastle have let them, because Villa have let them, because Everton have let them do it. Sunderland as well, you could probably throw into that. Leeds. There's big clubs that are failing, and this little elite pack at the top are just been lifting it up because we haven't given them competition. We just need to pull our fingers out. Villa look like they're going in the right direction now. Let's get back on the horse, back in the race. We were going in good places under both Redknapp. We started to look like a side capable of winning trophies again. Pochettino, God, we came so damn close to it. Why didn't we just kick on from there instead of just letting it all slide? There's no reason we shouldn't do it. Absolutely no reason. The resources we've got compared to some of our rivals are massive. It doesn't mean if you're like the sixth best equipped club in terms of football in revenue or something like that. It doesn't mean you have to sit in sixth. It means you've got an advantage over nearly 90 teams in the rest of the league.
Right.
So use that. You're in one of those big boy seats, and we act like we're not. And we've done it for too long. Other clubs have been doing the same. It's sickening. Any of these fans will be saying the same thing. Villa fans that are old enough remember them having great side back early 80s. Really great side. Forest as well. Almost in oblivion for a long time. But back in the day, back-to-back European Cup winners.
70s and stuff, they were
fantastic. The equivalent of the Champions League twice in a row. Yeah. With a side that whereas the manager Brian Clough was a genius and pulling players out of non-league, unfashionable players, and created this amazing team.
Finding gems,
I've never agreed with this having to just set. Yeah, you should never just settle for your lot. If you've got significant advantage over most of the teams in the league, you should be using that advantage. So we are massively guilty of not doing that.
Speaking of using your advantage, Dan's sitting here saying, love to come on here. Great knowledge. Actually, Dan, I have zero to very limited knowledge. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I do. I just extract as much as I can out of the legend that is sitting beside me. So you are always welcome to join us, my man. Anniversary of Bill Nix, 20 years today, and not a word from a club. Not a single word to mark it.
Why did I think that was tomorrow?
I think somebody else earlier in the chat said it too. I think it was Stuart that said it is the 20-year anniversary today, and Ed's just kind of re-emphasizing the fact that there's nothing from the club to say that this is one of our...
Shouldn't be up to us fans to say that. That should have been a club release, shouldn't it? Yeah.
That should be something all of us knew. That some fans, I don't doubt there's some people in the chat just hearing this now from us. Because I'm just finding it. I didn't hear it anywhere today. I didn't see it on anything I opened up regarding Tottenham was all strictly about the Europa game tomorrow. Nothing in regards to this, right? So another failed
it shames the owners. Our past successes shame the current owners. That's why they don't want us getting ideas above our station of wanting trophies, because getting trophies at the moment is going to require spending heavily. And why do that when you can just spend a little portion of that to get the top 4 and hit the sweet spot with Champions League football? And cha-ching!
Yeah. Well, right here, Dan says it. Best stadium, best training ground, but average on the pitch.
Yeah. And this is where the anger comes from a lot of us. This is why I'm leaving out. We've been. I said a while back to Sean Butler, as far as I'm concerned, the club's a bonsai club. You know, we've been raised brilliantly, put in this lovely pot, treated fantastically well, kept immaculately, look nice, but our growth's been stunted, and it's always going to stay there until we get rid of that pot and we're put into a big garden, a big field to grow. And that's where we're being held. I'm frustrated by it beyond belief because I've seen this club doing great things. Yeah. I want that back again. But
that's where the divide is. What you're
I understand. Yeah, I understand. A lot of fans won't. Yeah, a lot of fans will not have seen that. They don't have that same feeling, constant feeling of the club. Where
I'm sorry to say, Coos, you're being weeded out. You're not the fan that's wanted, right? Because you're over opinionated. You're not willing to accept what is currently happening. The tourist fan is the guy that is they want. Because again, I'm the guy that's fly over like a donkey and spend money in that shop. Right?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Paddy's saying it is today, and they did put stuff up. So my apologies for that unnecessary and unprovoked attack there. Where are the gates, though? Well, technically, they have nothing outside the stadium to even say that it's a football stadium, Andrew. So I seriously doubt they're going to put up anything to represent the man. Leave you to history. Hates the history of our club. Interesting. Evening, big up, Rich. Good to see you, mate. See Perryman is doing something tomorrow for building it. Good for him. Right. So we did have this up, Coop. This was the next thing that we were talking about here. How can you back a manager and a team in an ownership that you don't believe in? Now, this is going into the overall spectrum then of things. This would be fans that understand who Daniel Levy is, who Scott Munn is, who Lanjar, who Paratici was, who Ange is, and the dynamics and the background he comes from and everything. And this is where I feel that there is kind of a divide because, again, I was ignorant to everything before I came into YouTube and you guys opened my eyes.
Yeah, well, for me, it's a really simple thing for me, this. And it comes down to, at the moment, the obvious one to pick on is the Ange situation, Ange in or Ange out. If you're going to believe in Ange, if you're going to back Ange, you must believe in him in some way. You must think he is going to achieve things here. He's going to do something, and you've got to have that constant belief at it. What happened with me is I saw things time and time again, started questioning his belief, and then reached a point where, you know what, I don't think he can do this. I don't think he and the club are compatible anymore. I don't think we're going to get the signings he needs, and his whole tenure will be pointless. So I started thinking, what's the point? I lost my faith in him. Why should I believe in him just because he's the manager? I'm not going to. He's got to show me something. I'm kind of in an interesting spot at the moment because it's like flip-flop territory. We've done a few good things recently.
That's the name of the show.
Yeah, I don't like some of the things that have happened this season. I don't like some of the decisions that I'll not say were made. It's the ones that weren't made that have annoyed me. The substitutions part for a start. That Brighton game in particular. Oh my God. But at the same time, we've won 6 out of the last 7. It doesn't matter if all of the opposition weren't the greatest. It's still 6 out of 7. No, there's not many teams on that kind of form.
I never knew Man United were pushovers.
Yeah.
I didn't know our rivals at West Ham were pushovers.
Well, end of the day, West Ham has...
How many people were predicting that we were going to lose or draw to West Ham at level best?
Well, I had to go for a prediction range. I'll win anywhere between 4-1 and lose 3-0, I said.
Whoa.
So if you go stretch the prediction out far enough, you're going to be right, aren't you?
Eventually,
no, but again, let's face it, West Ham have turned us over quite often. They shouldn't, but they do, because they're always up for
First
the
game
game.
at this stadium, they scored the first goal ever in
Yeah.
Tottenham Stadium, if I remember correctly.
Season, didn't they? Last season, they smashed us up both times, didn't they? Was it draw and a win, or did they win both?
Wasn't it them we were winning 3-0 against, and then they came back and scored 3 in like the last like 8
Oh,
or 10 minutes?
that was a painful
West Ham,
one,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. My
Yeah.
dad came over that day, and he jokingly started cheering for West Ham because he doesn't care at all about football or anything. He couldn't tell you the difference between cricket and soccer. God bless him, but he's not a sports guy at all. We told him he's never allowed to come back in the house again when there's a game on after that. So, but in regards to this though, is it possible for somebody to still support the club even though you don't support the elements like this that are all associated to it?
Absolutely.
That's kind of how I feel. This changes. This is a very
all of these parts are temporary, aren't they?
Exactly. That's what I said on Jacobs. These are the variables. This is not a variable. This stays. This is the constant. This is what I support. Whoever's out there, I have to support, because even though it might not be the players I want, the players that have been pushed out in the starting 11 might not be the players I want out there. I'm still going to cheer for them. And I'm going to be as fickle and as stupid as I was back when we had the strong team versus when we have a weak team. I'm still going to support every single player out there that's coming on. And I'm going to support Ange in this moment, because I support Tottenham first. These are kind of elements that I really knew nothing about before. And again, I think I was happier in my ignorant little world. This new ignorant world I live in kind of comes with a bit of stress sometimes.
Yeah.
But that means now we'll get on to this one, buddy. I know this one was something you really want to talk about, and this is going to ruffle some feathers, and we're hoping so. But Brennan Johnson's crap. Brennan Johnson's garbage. He didn't score
waste of money.
His crap is a waste of money.
Terrible
player at best. What else was all the things? He's worth £4 million, not 47 million.
If he's not scoring goals, he's not worth playing. Yeah. So there we go. So it's now he has well, let's face it. Let's go down to the stats. In the last game, he has missed 100% of his chances. You can't argue with that.
How do you argue that? That's it. He's got a shot.
He scored 0% of the team's goals. That's terrible. That's relegation form. Get him out.
Yeah, that's it.
No,
go ahead. Sorry.
He is, seriously though. He is another one of the players, the same as the manager, same as the team in general. Having a hot streak is great, but consistency over an entire season, or preferably over about 7 or 8 entire seasons, that's when you start talking about great players. So he's been on a good little run recently. Do you want to see it keep going? He's already surpassed my expectations of him from last season. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. There are some positives happening here. Solanke also put him in the same sort of pressure. He's scored a couple of goals, and he's on the massive pressure because perhaps he should be on 10 goals or something. He's just not that kind of player, but he's doing well. There's a lot of things that are kind of working, and we are scoring goals. That's the main thing, isn't it? The team is scoring goals, quite a decent amount of goals at the moment. Something's got to be going right. Now, can we put it all in the right sort of situation at the same time to make us capable of winning something? I have my doubts at the moment, but you know, when people are scoring goals and we do get performances, not always we don't maintain them at the moment, but who knows? Maybe there is a chance of a cup this season, but we can't play like the second half as we did against Brighton and win anything. We can't play like we did against Coventry and win anything. But we could play like we did against West Ham, especially in that second half. That could win something. I'm looking at this Man City game coming up, and I'm thinking perhaps that's the barometer right now in the season. if we can actually perform and beat them and deserve to beat them, perhaps we're onto something. Until then, let's just bang in a few more goals and win a few league games. And Brennan Johnson get back on the goal trail, because that'll keep the haters like me off his back. If he ends up with like 15, 20 goals this season, he's had a great season.
Oh, but beyond, as far as I'm concerned, considering I think expectations were him. People were betting that if he gets 5, that would be a major accomplishment for him. Just wanted to quickly say that we'll just give you a quick update. There are the Champions League games going on right now. I know Liverpool's up 1-0 over Leipzig right now. City over Sparta 1-0. Barcelona and Bayern are tied at 1. Dynamo Zagreb, Salzburg are 0-0. Atletico Madrid's up 1-0. And Young Boys and Inter 0-0. Benfica is down 1-0 to Feyenoord right now. So that is your Champions League update currently. We'll just catch up with the comments here. And where the hell was I? Right here, Eugene S. Pool of games is still small. Teams we face is top 10. Yeah, I've never understood the whole agenda. Well, that team is crap. Well, they're out of form, this and that. To me, in sports in general, on any given day, any team can beat any team. You can have the crappiest team show up. I still remember when we got outplayed off the pitch in an EFL game against bloody Grimsby years back. The Grimsby or Gillingham or something like that. And it was just like, they're like 3 leagues below us. I had to look up who they were. And it was just like, is this even a real place?
Colchester was a bad recent one for us.
So it's like, I've never understood why you can't take pride in just a win. Is a win not just a win? Do we have to analyze, well, who was our competition that we beat? They don't matter, so it doesn't count as a win then. It seems like...
Forget that. I've always maintained this on no matter what. I'm one of the hardest fans to please out of all of them. Forget Scott M with his expectations of perfection. I have got to see my team win every time, and win with style, real flourish, real entertainment.
I remember you saying you want that football.
Yeah, I don't say 7-3 predictions for no reason. I want to see that kind of football. I don't care if we let in a few goals. I don't celebrate clean sheets. I want to see spectacle. I want to see amazing team goals, amazing individual bits of flair and skill, things that get you off your seat, really punch the air going, my God, that's one of my team's players. They're Ballon d'Or for this player immediately. I want to see all of that. And I do demand it. I've seen it before. I've seen us play that kind of football before and win. And now all of a sudden it's, no, you can't play stylish attacking football and win things. Yes, you can. People just give up because it's easy to try and go all defensive and then claim that's the best thing. I don't want to celebrate doing things that Arsenal used to do back in the day when it was boring Arsenal, 1-0 to the Arsenal. Yeah, they won a league title doing that. That's not for me. Winning style. Man City, I had to admire because a few seasons back, when they're at their peak, and I think their peak was when they had like Silva and Aguero and the players of that ilk, and they were just turning it on week after week. You'd get results with them stuffing 9 past Crystal Palace, or was it 10 in the end? I can't even remember. But they were doing it week in, week out. Goals flying in everywhere. Yeah. Oh, we can't do that because it's Man City. Yes, you can do that. Just because it's difficult doesn't mean you stop trying. You aspire to be the best. So look at them as the best. If you can't go out and spend the same amounts of money as they have, you find another way. You train your players up. You find the gems in the rough and turn them into those players.
Okay, but how can we turn the players that are gems in the rough and have our training academy kids and everything come out when we have our fan base screaming for a new manager after a loss?
Well, you have to just ignore the fans, don't you? Ignore the fans. That's what real leadership would be at a club, is they can actually just blot out the fans when they know and totally believe in what their objectives are. If they've got a vision, they just got to stick to it. They've got to come out and say, this is the manager for us. This is what we're going to do. We're sticking to it. If you don't like it, put on some music, watch something else. whatever you got to do, but this is the way forward. This is how we're doing it. And then they just actually stick with it. But we never get that. We get this sort of tentative little managerial appointment. Oh, it's kind of working out. We'll keep them on for a little bit. No, they're gone in a few seasons. It happens every time. But then, who cares? Who cares at the end of it? It's we don't see this. We don't see this level of consistency.
Fair enough. And Rinkelik's just saying, did Man City, he's asking, did Man City with the cash and the bail sell affect the transfer market? No, that was years ago, buddy. That was a long time. That was when Chelsea, I think everybody still points the finger at them, and they're the ones that started coming in, and when Abramovich came in and started spending money ridiculously and overinflating players' valuations just to get who we wanted. That's what kind of screwed things up.
Oh, so, I see I'm getting a fan in chat now. Tommy G, yeah. I was talking about Arsenal back in the day when they had George Graham in charge, and they were 1-0 to the Arsenal, and they won the league. That style of football. That was not great football. If you're talking about under Wenger and the Invincibles, totally different sort of team. They did play football. So listen a bit more carefully, mate.
I think he came in. Danny, if that's how you feel, but by all means, feel free to watch someone else, mate, because we're just sharing how we feel over here. Yeah, boring Arsenal. Yeah, I remember that chant, actually. I never heard the boring Liverpool one. I did remember the boring Arsenal one.
Oh, perhaps Tommy did just come in late. He seems cool with it anyway. No worries.
Yeah, no, because he said, he's saying, Wenger. Oh, okay, now because I'm pretty sure Tommy's been in our chat before, but I remember that coup 1-0 to the Arsenal. Yeah, that was normal, right? We did talk about a little bit the West Ham game. There was something at the end of it, well, towards the last 10 minutes where we saw some madness here. We see that the club has been fined £20,000 for the little melee between their players and our players. And Ange came out today and said he's not the one that was fined. And he's kind of almost not chastising his players for it, but he's not fully supporting them. What's that message then, Coops?
Well, he can't support them for it, can he?
No, he can't. But it doesn't seem like he's.
But I like the fact he's not really chastising them. Yeah, I think Ange is a man's man, isn't he? Sometimes you've got to roll your sleeves up, stand up for yourself a bit, and I prefer to see it. Players stick up for each other. Bit of a bit of team spirit going on there. Tommy, no worries, mate. No worries, mate.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I know Tommy's been in our chat before and stuff, so I think he just came. The time that he came in was
it makes sense. I rose to it. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I'm having one of those days where I'm just going to rise to it. I think so.
You're having a day like I did on Jacobs the other day. Yeah,
Ellie, don't give me all that clapping emojis either. Watch yourselves.
That's it. Get knocked out by Ellie.
Yeah, 20 grand fine. That's nothing, isn't it? It's not. What's that? A club sandwich or something? Tottenham.
That's 2 pints, isn't it, at the bar?
Yeah, something like that, isn't it?
and a kit. Sorry, 2 pints in the kit, £20,000.
But the rest of it. Oh, come on! If somebody's going to start shoving your teammates in the face, go and stick your shoulder in there, barge them out of the way. But the only thing I was actually annoyed about is Romero didn't come steaming in and send him into row C on something like in the stands. Get off my buddy. It's like you're supposed to stick up for each other.
Yeah.
You remember back in the early 90s?
But isn't that passion? Because I know I would wholeheartedly stick up for you. Even if you're right or wrong.
What is the greatest thing that ever happens in an ice hockey game? It's when it all kicks off. Yeah. And everybody jumps off the bench and everybody gets involved. Brilliant.
You see it in baseball, quite common. You see it in American baseball all the time where you see the dugouts clear out and stuff like that. Right? So it is part. And I think, it's as long as it doesn't turn into a full-out brawl, like a little bit of pushing.
Full-out brawl, that's fine. You know what? I was talking to Alex Davis, Mr. Box Office, the other day about this.
Yeah.
Back in the early 90s, when The big lit rivalry in this country was Arsenal and Man United. United had like Roy Keane, Arsenal had Vieira, and it was always regularly kicked off between them, and you get these big brawls between the players. I remember looking back and thinking, I wish one of those was my team. I wish we had games that were so important that the emotions boiled over and you saw that kind of thing. Because there's a camaraderie between the players there. There's the fierce competition. They all respect each other as players, but they've got to win it. And if something's not going their way, they're going to show it. And I would have loved that for us. Absolutely.
But that was a true battle mentality, no?
Yeah. Siege mentality. Yeah.
Paddy's saying right here, with the good old days, they'd clatter each other, walk away after it, and the game has gone soft. Paddy, I'll be honest with you. I think that's happened pretty much in every sport because, like Kuva said, you have the NHL, and a major part of the game is the fighting, the aggression, the checking, the hitting, and it's been removed. And now you literally tap a player, and it's a penalty. It's ridiculous. It's really, really bad, and it's almost an overprotection, and it's ruining the game, right? Rinketic just trying to be funny here. Kuva thought he's auditioning for Fight Club 2. Yeah. Question for you, Coobs.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's one-offs, isn't it?
Hypocrite.
I will make it. My hypocrisy only goes so far. I will take that. That's special circumstances.
Sorry, we're gonna have to go to a bar check on that one. Yeah, it's come back. And what are they saying about your answer, Kuva?
That is fucking fantastic. Come put that Rita on my onion salad, you sexy bloody bastard.
That's the one.
You have it. There you have it, buddy. That has been approved. Yep, 1-0 wins for the rest of our lives over Arsenal. We will gladly take it. Eugene saying we miss Lamella. He would have been the first one in there punching up people. Yeah. Bitch slapping. Here's some more happy clapping. Damn right. Damn right. Should we rename the show Flip Flop Central?
Well, let's take the caption down a second. There we go. Flip Flop Alpha.
Top dog.
Top dog. Kate, over on the perfect match. Kate is my. I've already told her she's my wingman. She's my flip flop wingman.
Me and Jim will just sit back and host then. That's why fans like.
See, that's another gripe I have with things as well. I know what Sava's talking about when he says, he wants consistency and everything. But I think with fans' attitudes, I think he should get wildly inconsistent. Because for me, again, it's back to the phrase I've always loved: every meal's a banquet, every missed meal is a famine. I think he should be going with the highs and the lows, the roller coaster of emotion that goes with following your club. It is disaster if we lose. When we win, though, we're the greatest on earth and we're going to win everything. And you should feel that way. What's wrong with standing at the side of the pitch, singing your lungs out, even though you know your team's about to lose, but you're happy because you love your club so much? Let them sing. Let them enjoy themselves. It's all about what you feel right here, right now. There's no point dwelling too much on the past, although you do have a point of reference where things where to go or where not to go. But you can't just look in the future. Sometimes you've got to say, I want something now. I've got to see something now that makes me believe in tomorrow. We too often don't see it. And I think fans should just go wild. Whenever anything good happens, go through the roof on it. Whenever anything bad happens, scream, cry, bitch about it. Be a right little baby. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It does
float your boat, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Tantrum. Throw the toys out of the pram. I don't care. I want my club winning.
Well, we got a nice little super chat here from Tom. Bless you, Tom. Really appreciate it, mate. He's just sending some love, man. Much love right back at you, brother. Much love right back at you. Thank you for that. I just realized something that feels odd not doing it. Oh, I was going to say, yeah.
Right. I was going to say.
I was gonna say we actually had we had a conversation in the back room, Patty, that we were wondering if somebody had hacked your account because you were being nice and actually only talking about football. But now we know it's really you. Welcome back, you wanker. But how does social media ruin both win and losses because people cry about anything? I kind of have to say yes to that because there's overemphasis and there's an over dramatization. Wins can't be celebrated because the question is, who were they against? Was that team in form? This, that. Well, the weather was on our side. The wind was on our side. All the stars aligned. The Swami in the stands was praying for our team only. Why is there so much shade cast on a victory?
I don't know. This is a bigger thing though for me. Social media, I think I despise it. It's one of the worst things that's ever happened. I think people have stopped talking to each other properly. I can go to the park with my kids after school, or I used to when they were younger, and it'd stand there, and I deliberately wouldn't take my phone because I'm thinking I'm just going to talk to people there. I'm not going to sit there looking at my mobile. And I just look around, and all the parents, every single one of them, not talking to each other, head down on the mobile phone.
Yep.
And it's like, what's happened?
What's the point? Yeah,
that's not social. It should be called anti-social media. Yeah.
Well, it's like with me when I'm coaching the kids teams. It's exceedingly frustrating looking into the stands and seeing how many parents are on their phones, not there cheering for your kids.
Yeah.
I remember when I first started doing this, 99.9% of the moms that would show up to the games, I'd say it was a 60-40 split. 60% dads, 40% of the moms were bringing the kids back then. And the moms were showing up, ponytail, pair of Crocs, trackies, and now they're showing up like they just came out of a salon and everything and sitting off to the phone. I don't get it. It's not my thing. Ellie's got a serious question for you here now. Who's your money on Cooves in a fist fight, Keane or Vieira? I think she means Patrick, not that Fabian kid.
I think Keane's. Oh, yeah, I think Keane's the one that most people are probably back. You associate him with sort of violence and thuggery and everything, but I can imagine Vieira could look after himself pretty damn well.
I was going to say Vieira's a big guy.
I think he'd have the reach as well, wouldn't he? So
they got an edge on them, man.
Yeah, I think so.
Because sometimes the guy that's doing all the barking, his bite's not as bad.
True. True.
I wonder if Keane's one of those. Who has an NHL team? I'm an Edmonton Oilers fan, but I'll be honest with you, Simon, I only support them come playoffs. I
just like the old Sega Mega Drive NHL games. I just adored them. Hook them up to the stereo, so you got the big surround sound subwoofer going off, so you can get all of those noises shaking the house. Fantastic.
We're talking about a game still, right? Paddy is saying Roy Keane only because he's Irish. I've never. Paddy's the only Welshman I know that just absolutely loves the Irish. Good for you, Paddy. Good for you, man. Roy Keane is tiny. Well, it's not the size of the dog in the fight; it's the size of the fight in the dog. They say, right? Sharks. Oh, Eugene's team, San Jose Sharks. Oh, gotcha. It's Sharks. What the hell, Sharks? What? I don't know.
NHL. When I was following it, when I was playing the games the most, who was it? Alexander McGillney used to play for. I've forgotten.
Vancouver.
There we go. Them.
Yeah, he was.
That'll be my team then.
His career there, though. He retired some time ago, though. Yeah,
that's just
and funny because that's the days I actually really used to still watch it too.
It was the players like that and Big Doug Svoboda and
the fighters. Yeah, Bob Probert and shit,
Steve Eiserman and
Eiserman.
Yeah, it's going back a while now, but it was just an era for me where I was playing those games. I loved them.
Yeah. Oh, you would have liked this team then, especially. I'd say Simon, the 70s and early 80s, the Philadelphia Flyers. These guys should have just been called the Philadelphia Puck-You-Ups because
and the movie Slapshot, of course, that was awesome.
Oh, Slapshot's brilliant, yeah. But
these guys are a disgrace. Yeah.
Pick up the Sega Mega Drive. He still has it. Dude, Chris, keep that thing, man. God knows it's going to be worth probably a small fortune. Detroit, the Red Wings. Yeah, Roy Keane back down when Duncan Ferguson approached him. Interesting. Big up the Commodore 64. That was my first one, baby.
Big Duncan Ferguson would make most people back down.
Bayern Munich should change the name to BobbyK. What was next here? Coobs, what was next? We did this. We really don't need to talk much more about this. They were given a fine. We saw what happened. The club has kind of just accepted it. They're not even fighting against it. So
the only thing we did wrong was sort of, pussy out a bit and lie on the floor.
Oh, Goon is great. Oh my God, there's two of them, isn't there? Goon 1 and Goon 2. You would actually like it.
Yep.
Have you seen it? The kid from American Pie? Yeah, yeah. Was Duncan Ferguson any good? Average?
Solid? I would have loved him at Spurs.
But a solid player, but quality-wise.
On his day, he could destroy teams, absolutely. But he had to feel like he was up for it for some reason. He did whatever he wanted because nobody was going to argue with him.
Oh, wow.
I think there was the famous story of him injuring a burglar or something a couple of burglars broke into his house at night. And Ali McCoist is retelling the story, and he says, he would have caught hold of him and given him a real beating, but he was carrying a fridge at the
time. Sorry, I've got one handful right now.
Yeah. I'll be with you in a second. I'm just wrestling this bull.
Hold on. Yeah, he's got his pinky finger on the bull's horns while he's sipping his tea. So we do have a game tomorrow. We do have a Europa League game against Alkmaar. He's at Alkmaar there at home. Sonny has been confirmed to be out, but apparently he should be okay for Sunday for Crystal Palace. Odebert has trained and is apparently available for tomorrow, and so is Richie. So let me just ask you this. Who would you like to see start in Sonny's place? And those of you at the top, by all means, who would you like to see? Odebert for you?
Easy. Simple, like-for-like replacement. Well, not. I say like-for-like in the fact that they both play wider than central. Richie is through the middle player for me. I don't think he should be out on the left. I think if we give in Solanke a rest, he's got to play. But not Solanke and Richie in the middle. Play a sort of 4-2-4 formation. Very attacking. 2 wingers, 2 centre forwards, and belt the ball down the middle, long balls.
You got Van de Ven back there, so that's fine. You don't need any defenders.
That's true. Can play like fish. Oh yeah, could do one of Jacob and I's infamous formation builders. You end up with Vicario on the halfway line.
You guys do 8-1-1 or something?
Yeah, that'll be the defensive version. Yeah, you have a token sort of defender on the halfway line, and
question here for Eugene from Eugene: who was the last real captain on the Spurs?
Not the greatest player.
That's a great question.
Not the greatest player for me, but as a captain, I really rated Michael Dawson.
Yes,
I thought his heart on his sleeve, put his body on the line, and inspire others around him when we're up against it. I liked Dawson a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
it was true.
I thought you had more than you just stopped.
No, Duncan Ferguson is a tough bloke.
Ellie's just giving us an update on the Champions League scores. Breaking Aberdeen player's jaw with a slap.
Yeah. Big Dunk can practically break wind and break somebody's leg.
I have an aunt like that.
I didn't know we had the same aunt.
Does yours have the same effect after she eats chickpeas?
Yes.
What? Odebert, I didn't even consider more actually here. I just asked about Richie.
Yeah, I've always been an advocate for starting as many games as possible this
This
season.
would be a good one too to do it in, right? Smash up a couple of blows. Robbing is Lewandowski. Comfortable win should be 7 wins in a row right now. Yeah, we should be, but it's a fucking fantastic.
Well,
King,
I don't know. I
Leslie
don't
King.
know because we probably should have lost
There you
against
have it.
Coventry. We probably should have lost against Coventry. So I thought that kind of evens up the Brighton result in a way, doesn't it?
You know what? These are the things that kind of make me question my sanity sometimes, and how I'm able to keep it. There's somebody in the chat that very rarely pops in, and when he does pop in, he has to decide to try to be controversial with it. We asked for a captain. We got Gary Mabbott, we got Dawson, we got King, and somebody even threw a huddle in here, I believe. And then we got this guy who just likes to just bring the box up and say, Sol Campbell. Alex!
What? Wait.
Big up, Alex.
Spurs cap off.
Yeah.
And just remember back in the time, he was fantastic for us. There is no doubt about it. That's why we hated him doing
That's why we
did.
hate him, though. That's exactly. It's funny you say that because I had that conversation with Jay a while ago. He's like, Dad, why do fans hate him so much? I'm like, Jay, if he was crap, they wouldn't. The fact that when he left, he created a void, and the way he left. Why is that?
Literally,
the way he left.
Literally, we'd watch him play club football for us, and then go to the World Cup with England, and we'd be thinking England can win the World Cup because Sol Campbell was going to score the goals and keep them out. He was like a Superman figure for us at the time. Boy, did that change
overnight.
Yeah. Well, kryptonite's always red in the movies, isn't it? So that'd explain a lot, wouldn't it?
Is it? I thought it was green.
I don't know. I just made it up, mate.
Let's stick with red. I like that.
Yeah, it's red. Yeah.
Like it's not like Kate's ever watched a Superman.
If it's bad, it's always glowing red stuff, isn't it?
That's true. Look at Star Wars.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh my God, George Lucas was sending us messages.
The demonic eyes, they're always glowing red, aren't they?
I've noticed when Sook wakes up in the morning, her eyes are red. Oh, she's at work. It's okay. We got one last thing here. I don't know if you want to talk about it or not.
Nah. Not for me.
People in the chat, this is our last little topic here before we just ask you for your sport predictions for tomorrow. So, truth hurts. Yeah, he went for trophies.
Yeah, tis true. Yeah, so did Teddy Sheringham. So did so many other players.
Yeah, and what Stuart's saying, if you'd been crap, we wouldn't have minded. Yeah, just like why did it hurt losing Harry Kane? Because of how fantastic he was and the void he created. Did we care when Winks left?
If Kane had gone to Arsenal, he'd be hated now.
Oh, 100%. Especially if he went for free. There's been quite the spark regarding Romero and the fact, I think this all stems from literally his one mistake against Arsenal. And it seems that there's been a bullseye kind of put on him where people are trying to justify their statements in that he's not world class or he's not that great or he only plays well for Argentina. He's average for Spurs. There's so many agendas behind some sort of a hatred towards Romero. I know Jacob was in the chat earlier, and he's pretty much the last person I think in the world that I would say Romero sucks in front of. I'd honestly think I'd rather take the chance of making fun of Jacob's dog or his wife or something before I made fun of Romero in front of him.
Here's the thing. Yeah, here's the thing with Romero. For me, if you took away Van der Ven's speed, that is his ultimate weapon against people, isn't it? His speed. If you
and
took
everything
that away,
else, have you seen his looks?
Fair. All right, fair. Okay, but if you took away his speed and then compare them to as footballers, I would say Romero is the better footballer. But Van der Ven does have that speed, so it does elevate him. Romero, the biggest problem he's got seems to be that word again, consistency. Yeah. Because when he's playing well, he's dominant. He's an exceptional player. Some games he kind of goes missing a bit. It's like
But has he been calmed down?
Is he what?
has he been calmed down with this assistant captaincy and the responsibility? Because I'm kind of seeing that he's got less of that bite that he had last year.
Yeah, he's having to play a more responsible role rather than so aggressive, isn't he? So, plus,
Is that
of
good
course,
or bad, though? Because we scream that we want players like Keane and Vieira and ones that really, and he's one of those guys. If anybody's
for me, it's
right now, and I would say,
for me, it's a bad thing. For me, Romero is best. You should be saying play your natural game, and that is a central defender that does step out to preemptively tackle somebody, aggressively win the ball back when not expected. He's the kind of surprise central defensive midfielder. Defensive midfielder that's actually playing as a centre back. So I think you take that out of his game, you're losing a lot. And I would definitely take the rough with the smooth with him. I think he's still, as a central defender, he's not peaking yet. You reach your peak around about the age of 30, they say, because you got the experience and the
late 20s, early 30s kind of thing. Yeah, that's
so
the general number.
he's coming up to it before too long, but he's not there yet. And I just think when he's playing his best, sorry, he's 26, 27 now, maybe. I don't know, something like that. So it's not a million miles off it, is it? But he's still approaching it. I just think that when he's playing at his peak, he's the best defender at the club.
Well, Eugene's disagreeing with you because he says he's responsible for the Brighton goal, cost us 2 games at least. Obviously, the one
he has bad games every now and that's what I'm saying. Consistency lets him down. Because when he's up for it and he's really on form, he's a commanding figure. He looks great when he's doing that.
I think I'll let Ed and you fight this one out here.
Romero isn't as good as some think and as bad as others think. He's a typical modern defender. They all want to be playing like a midfielder. I wouldn't say he is a typical modern defender. A lot of them are more about keeping that sort of. You look at Saliba, for example, or players like that. Do they make that really aggressive delve into midfield? I don't see it quite so much. He's more of an enigma at the moment. There's some players that stand out for the way they play. Not necessarily always good, but it's noticeable. I'd say Romero is more an old school Argentinian defender that knows how to rough it up and hurt people. He's always got that in his locker, and that's what Argentina used to be known for. Then? Yeah,
I want opposition when they're carrying the ball to say, "Holy shit, we just crossed the halfway line." I don't want it. You take it. No, you take it. Because they see him standing there, and nobody wants to go near him, and we're taking that chip away. You must have said something right because Alex is agreeing with you, or he's just in a good mood. But good to see you here, Alex.
Big up, Alex.
Oh my God, Nick, really? You hear about the new pirate movie? It's rated R.
No, I didn't. What's it like?
Well, it's on my favorite channel because it's rated R. Oh no, that's X. Never mind. Romero is far from average. For us, quite the opposite. He's made errors, yes, but Cooves, he has better football than VDV.
Yeah.
I'll remove that comment now that I got to the end of it. Ellie, sorry, how do I block people in StreamYard again? And any of you other content creators? Alex, how do you block people in StreamYard? Right here. Delete comment, ban and delete their comments. Here we go. Ellie, we'll see you in a week. You have a week to think about what you've said and done. That's why he started nearly. Football is a team game. So before the individual errors occurs, for the lack of press and effort leading that individual, there's more players are fault. Yep. Nah, I don't know about that one, Eugene. Is that correct? Intimidation is not part of today's game? I would say it is.
It definitely is.
I would say it is.
You get a big central defender like a Lewis Dunk or someone like that up against a skillful striker. He's going to make sure they know he's about. It still happens.
Yeah.
There are people that are physically intimidating, without doubt. And a player that puts himself about a bit, it does get you looking over your shoulder. You don't want it. players do not like to have their ankles smashed into from not see where it came from. So you let them know early and you get away with it. You've done yourself a big favor because you're putting them off their game.
Vindaloo's just showing us some loves. Big up, you love birds. He has a thing of it in the comments always saying, too, if you get a room. And Vindaloo, all I can say is, we will one day.
All I'll say is, Vindaloo, is you keep coming to watch us, don't you? So what does that say about you?
No, you know what? Vindaloo and Angus, seriously, the two Arsenal fans that are always good in the chats, too. They have a little bit of banter and fun, but they're respectful and decent. And big up to both of them, man. Really appreciate having you boys around. Sheriff is just saying he didn't realize we were even on. It's big up, Sheriff. Good to see you, buddy. He's been Tomb Raidering. He had to stop.
Yeah, we went round everybody and whispered to him, "Don't tell Mark. We're going to go live in a minute. Just keep him out in the dark."
Yeah, keep him out. Keep him out. Don't tell anybody. We knew you were busy today, Mark. We saw the PS4 update and the new redigitalized Tomb Raider version you got there. So only press Xbox spot. Heyo, Nick's in a mood today. I can see. Do you think Haaland is intimidating?
Yeah, of course he is.
I'd say yeah. To a defender, you're looking at a guy that's just robotic in front of the net.
You look at Haaland when. Oh dear. We'll forget all about.
Wait a minute! No! You gotta cut your shit out. It was on your show today that we said earlier that we were going to be live later. Hold on a second. Carl Simpson, big up 5 guys. Good to see you, man. Eugene saying hi to the sheriff. And see, he heard you talking about Romero. He's back. He's back.
I agree.
Benny songs. Yeah, definitely. Big up the cop. Benny. Yeah, Benny, oh dear. Show Benny some love. He's upset right now.
Jacob and I go way back to that little tiny club, the Romero fan club from a few seasons ago, when it felt like it was only us and a couple of others in it. So, yeah, the man's a good defender. He just has some rocky patches every now and then. The thing is, they get zeroed in on. Again, everything's under a microscope. If you have a really bad game, it's not forgotten for ages.
Yeah. I think it's also who it was, too. When you look at just those two that people are remembering right now, it's the Arsenal one and then that most recent Brighton one. You know, they were costly goals. That
it was poor. So, but that Brighton game though, the whole team failed to turn up in the second half. It was
yeah.
That's kind of, you've also got to question, how were they so easily getting into the byline? How were they crossing it like that? It's everybody
we saw that in
was
the first half too. Matoma was just ripping Poirot apart on the wing.
Yeah, needed help, didn't they?
Oh, Ben's not mad at us. He's mad at YouTube. Okay, thank God. Okay, we're okay. We're safe.
Yeah.
I was worried, man. All of a sudden,
calling at YouTube. Yeah.
I thought I was going to get a phone call from Mickey, and not the Mickey that calls Kate all the time.
All those YouTubes, that YouTube isn't a real YouTuber.
Yeah, it's fake tube.
Fake tube.
No. Oh, look at this. Mention his name, and he pops up as well, like Beetlejuice here. Romero and Saliba. That's a debate happening now because he got sent off. Different qualities, though. You know, I know a lot of Spurs fans say that they'll take Romero over Saliba, and of course, Arsenal fans say that they'll take Saliba over Romero. So it'll be interesting to see how the two of them, they're similar in age. I think Saliba's like a year younger, maybe. What's he, 24, 25?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how both of them kind of progress over the coming years. So hairs on the neck tingling, knew I needed to return. This is a bat signal, buddy. This is a bat signal. Big up, Ben. Hi, everyone. Ben's good. Yeah. Those two.
Jacob's got like those cootie flaps, hasn't he? They sort of open up when you hear any slander towards. Yeah.
Well, but Jacob made it very clear to me. He goes, "Don't ever talk about my Romero. Don't ever talk about my Romero. Don't ever talk about Romero. Don't talk about my wife. And don't talk about my kids." But I noticed the top three had a bit of a pattern to them. Just saying. Yeah. Oh, and sorry, he did throw in "Don't talk about Sonny" in there somewhere. I don't know where the order with Sonny fell in there, but
whatever could you be suggesting with some of that? I don't know.
No comment. Remember Nkudi marked Haaland out of the game, smashed him in the first 10 minutes. Yeah, and that's the thing. But that's kind of the general theme with both football fans and sports fans in general is we don't Well, in human nature, that we kind of remember the negative, not the positive.
Yeah, of course, of course.
We're not going to sit here and talk about the 7,000 things he's done right. We will talk about the 3 things he's done
and it goes back to what we were talking about earlier with everything's under a microscope, so it gets played over and over. The mistakes are magnified. Because that's what happens. People want to have those talking points on their shows, whether it's on YouTube or it's on Sky Sports. They all do it. They want the sensational stuff. If there's a calamitous error made, it gets highlighted. If there's a brilliant goal, that gets highlighted. You could argue that there's more of a deal made of the mistakes than the goals nowadays. That there is an argument to be made for that. Everybody likes to
teams set up and they park the bus and stuff. Doesn't it kind of come down to a moment of brilliance or a mistake to get a goal?
Yeah, that's certainly an argument as well to be had. You could look at it as well, back to the tribalism as well, isn't it? It's sometimes you look at a goal and you say, great goal. But if you see an absolute howler of a mistake, oh my God, T-shirts printed up over it. Pulling that clip up for months over the time. Whereas the goals are almost forgotten compared.
Yeah.
Banter is more important than the facts on YouTube. I'd say so. That's definitely.
Don't let the facts kind of distort your judgment. At least I don't.
Don't worry about facts. Just go with the feel.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll get them next time. It's funny because we're saying here, there's a lot of people saying that Romero's going to Madrid. No, Saliba's going to Madrid. So I think we just like arguing with Arsenal fans about something. Rinketic has got a good start. Let's see how he does. Romero's going to know. We don't know. Hi. How are you? How's school, buddy?
It was good.
You come say hi to Coobs. He's ready.
Come
here quickly. Say hi. Yeah, you can have one of those.
Hey, can we play football or no?
Yeah, you can go play football. Can I finish the show? I'll be done. Yeah, I'm on stream.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
Your favorite K.
We got a little K.
You should invite me on the stream.
You're invited. Here, sit down.
No, not right now.
Okay, then get out of here.
But guys, look at my hair.
Your hair looks great. Get it.
Right. Attention seeker. He really is your boy, isn't he?
Just like his mother.
What? I'm like you.
Jacob, do you get a fee for being in the chat now that you're TV personality? Yeah, Jacob's famous now, eh? Jacob is big time, but no, he doesn't charge us for it because he remembers us loyal guys that were with him, and we were Patron members or Patreon members before he even had YouTube members. So he still gives us his time of day, the odd time. I think you have to plus 100 million. Be interesting. So they're just talking about getting rid of Angus, Real Madrid, Romero, say no, Saliba next. Yeah, interesting. Going to Gunnar is a better player, of course. Overrated? Nah, he's not overrated. But Kiva, had your name, we'd have 2 boobies on the screen. Whoa, boobies? Oh, sorry, I just stopped reading at boobies. Rudiger Romero would be ridiculous. Oh, that would actually be pretty strong there. Yeah, exactly. Big up, little K. There you go. A little bit of love for you. Everybody saying hi to you, buddy. You got a medium K from Stuart. There you go. Thanks, Benny. Love you, buddy. Yeah, 100% for pure professional here. Look, exactly. Ed, does he think Vidal Sassoon is watching? They want him. They don't want Bang average.
Bang on. Bang on. If Romero's so bad, why are Real Madrid interested?
We'll leave that up there then. We can just enjoy that for a moment there. Yeah, Angus. You don't want to throw in a Angus?
If Romero's so bad, why does Jacob have all those pictures of him? And we're talking a catalogue. Go watch them. Yeah.
Big catalogue.
Jacob could do a stream just on Cuti Romero and bring out a different picture every 5 seconds.
3.
I think he's got more pictures of Romero than his mum has.
Than Jacob's mum has, or than Romero's mum has?
Yeah,
okay. No, I went through Jacob's phone. It's kind of scary that he has 0 baby pictures, but 274,000 Romero pictures. But hey, to each your own. Little K is a little less every day. No kidding. Hey, look who's here! Hi, Leo.
Hey up, Leo.
Hi, Leo.
Hi.
He's probably still at work. It's only 2:00 over there. Krish, hi, MIG. Yeah, everybody just saying hello. Rubik's Cube. What is Rubik's Cube and a wanking have in common? The more you play, the harder. My
I
goodness.
thought you were going to say your wrist is knackered after a while.
No, that's if you're not. No, I'm sorry. If your wrist is knackered after a while, then you're not doing it right.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
No. Sorry, Jacob. Sorry, you're right. I shouldn't be spilling your personal business like that. My apologies, brother. Much love. We do have a game tomorrow, though. And we'll get a couple of score predictions in, and I think we'll call it a day here today.
Just imagine it, though. Doing an 8-hour stream on Jacob's phone pictures. It's a lot of cutie. It is a lot of cutie.
I know you could easily do 8-hour streaming with the pictures I have in my phone. We'd be canceled. But we could definitely do. Barcelona's up 4-1. Holy crap. Didn't Bayern Munich score first? Wow. Vincent Kompany's going to be under a little bit of fire. Rafinha, 3 goals. Rafinha, hat trick. Yeah, wow. Just swap wrists. Yeah.
Yeah.
5-0 to Tottenham. I'm saying for
Bayern Munich, the Harry Kane team.
The Harry Kane team. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Let's get your predictions in for tomorrow. Tom is saying 5-0 to the Spurs. So, made campaign. Yeah, that's right. The good old days. Barcelona scored 8 hours of tissues. Yeah, exactly. I'm looking at it for tomorrow. We're at home. We're in pretty decent form. Other than Sonny missing, I think we're pretty stacked. Everybody is back and ready to go. So I'm going to steal a bit of your thunder, and I'm going to go 6-2. Huh?
I see what he did. I see what he did. You are trying to goad me into going for that scoreline again, aren't you? It's worked. I'm going to go 7-3 because it's just going to be that difficult, isn't it? We're just back on it. This Sorry,
one day I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to pop up on you.
Ooh, I can't go over enough. Never mind. This is getting worse. We're gonna have to I'm gonna have to have words here.
Yeah, we're gonna have. Well, all the predictions are now firing in. Jacob has gone 4-1. Destiny is saying Romero hat trick. You're going with your 7-3 seriously, or do you want to have?
Yeah, of course I am. 7-3.
Yes.
The quad is back on again.
The quad's back on. Angus 2-1, but you didn't say to who, buddy. I don't think you're going to cheer for us to win, so I'm going to assume that's to Alkmaar. Big up, homies. Big up to you. Ed saying 4-1. Tottenham 3-0 from Jordan. 5-3. And Rinketic wants to give Troy Parrott a hat trick. Okay. Harry Kane brought the curse with him. Yeah. It could be. Vindaloo, all jokes aside, if they don't pick up a trophy this season, 2 years in a row, and last year was the first time, it was something like 34 years or something like that they hadn't won a something ridiculous.
Something like that, yes.
Yeah, so maybe there is something to be said about the curse of Kane. 3-1 to Stewart. Vindaloo is saying Leo is going to win. Oh, that'd be nice. Ben Kaufman, a tame scoreline for him, normally 17-4. I'm surprised. Normally he goes for like a 21-3. But just saying hi. Oh, Werner with a hattie for Mark Cousins is clearly deluded from all that time he spent staring at the screen today. What do you do to Kuba? Oh, anything I could, Simon. Anything I could. 4-1. Oddsman. Destiny, you talking nicely? Yeah, baby. Everybody's talking nicely. You got to talk to Jacob nicely. I'll try to do the Jacob thing. You talk to me nicely. So,
you can't. Nobody can do it, Jacob.
Nobody can do it, Jacob. But I'll try, y'all. We did have that one intro that time where I'm telling you, I'm gonna dress up as Jacob for the stream, for the Halloween stream. I'm gonna be Jacob this year.
Do it. Oh my god, that'll be hilarious.
I gotta figure something out. Maybe I will.
Should we all dress up as Jacob?
Oh fuck yeah! Oh my god. Okay, we're gonna talk about this in the back room now.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about this. Yeah, just for Jacob. The quad is on.
And invite Jacob. And invite Jacob on. And then for one round of the game, we can have guess who the real Jacob is, or Will the
That's
real
it.
Jacob stand
That's what I
up?
was going to say.
Yeah, yeah,
Or we all do the Jacob voice and see who sounds the closest, and Jacob judges. We'll figure
No,
something
the
out.
comment section would have to judge, because maybe Jacob might not win that. You don't know until the game's played.
True. Jacob might not win the I'm the Jacob contest. Valid point.
Well, yes.
Angus is he the most cursed player ever? He doesn't win it. You know what, Angus? It seriously would spark a lot of conversation, wouldn't it? Because I know for a fact it was over 30 years or something like that, because that was brought up that when they didn't win a trophy this year, and quite a few people in the German press were pointing the finger towards him. But if it happens 2 years in a row, that's messed up, man. 2-1 Spurs from Leo. Haaland just scored a glitch goal, so I'm assuming another tap in there. Curtis Real, maybe we should have sold Kane to City. Oh God, FIFA no allow no goal like that, and didn't see it. Succulent Chinese meal. Remove the meal, and I'll take a succulent Chinese. Oh, sorry. Kane will break his curse this season. Bayern will win their league. Okay, don't tempt me to get my cowboy hat on. Gee, oh yeehaw! Back room, slap room, hell yeah. Ellie knows what we get up into the back room.
That was almost a little unfortunate, wasn't it?
Yeah, almost got it out. Oh, wait. Back room. I have to dig out the line here. See what do you mean? I got the tash right here. Not as good as Jacob's, but oh my God, I'm going to have to get rid of all this and keep just this. Right down to here. Yeah. Shaved for the first time in 20 years. My God. But that is pretty much it for us. Coos, anything else you wanted to add here before we get? Oh, there's Dyer playing. Joining.
No, I think just summing it all up at the moment. Many of us had our doubts about Ange. Many of us haven't. Many of us have already decided he's definitely not working. Go with the ultimate, and the facts at the moment is this team has won 6 out of the last 7. That's pretty good going. That's pretty good going in anybody's book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, not according to some.
If we do this run of form all season, I'd say there's a pretty good chance we're going to win something, isn't there?
But it won't be good enough.
No, probably not. Got to win in style.
7-3.
7-3 every game.
7-3. Kate's asking if we're still waffling. Clearly. Yeah.
No,
Slap room in the back of room.
No, come on. They've heard the intro.
Come on. As soon as I said slap room in the back room, and you said, come on.
Nice.
We better behave. We're going off the rails now. Supposed to be tight. Oh, come late November. Okay. King of the flip flops, aka Kuva, and we have the queen. And we have the queen.
Yeah, Kate is my wingman, flip flop wingman.
I'll channel it. Eugene's channeling his inner Phil P. Blame Kate or blame Kane.
Blame Kane.
Blame Kate. Blame Kate, Eugene.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Yeah, always
damn you, Kate.
Everything. Always. Yeah. Kate's got thick skin. She can take. Doesn't matter how you play as long as you win. I think in the grand scheme of things, yes. Yeah. We don't want to see grinding football on a consistent basis. Do you have to have the odd grind out game where just to get the result, you might have to play shitty football?
The only time, like I said earlier in the show, we answered that one. Against Arsenal, I will take a grinding 1-0 win every time we play them.
Yeah.
But only against Arsenal. Everything else, we have got to win in style every game. It's not worth playing unless you win in style.
I never heard the term before you said it. I loved it. Champagne football.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll play pool the same way. Forget safety shots. If instead of tucking somebody up behind a ball and you've got the option of a 3-cushion shot, I'm taking off 3 cushions or 3 banks or whatever, rails, whatever you call it over there. I've gone.
Not banks, same thing.
Go for the flamboyant shot every time.
I hear you.
Game's supposed to be about
I do every time
I
play pocket pool. I go for the flamboyant shot as well.
Football is not as good nowadays as it used to be because we're seeing these workman-like performances and systems and tactics overshadow individual brilliance. Football used to be better, in my opinion. It really did. And it wasn't that long ago we were talking about these sort of things. when you had the Premiership was sort of, look at the Gooners now compared to what they were a while back when they had Burkamp, when they had Thierry Henry, players like that.
Yeah, Overmars,
Shadow of that team.
Said so many good players over the years. Big up to Tom again for the super chat today. Really appreciate that, Tom. I know you sent one there for the little K as well yesterday. Tom's just saying, yeah, much love right back to you, Kate. Yeah, nothing but love for you and Jim. More Jim than you, though, unfortunately. I'm not going to lie. No, I'm sorry. We love you equally. Yeah. We would take a start. Yeah, hell yeah. Especially against me.
Yeah.
I'll take that 5-4 win again. Yeah. They're the team you want to beat in style. Yeah.
Because they set the standard for winning the league with style when they're doing it with records being beaten. So we want to do that to them and show them, no, you didn't do it well enough. We're doing it even better now. That's what you aspire to. I don't see at any point in any club wanting to go out and grind games out to 1-0 wins or hanging on for 0-0s away from home. Bullshit. Take risks to dare us to do. I mean, it means something. It does to me anyway.
It's supposed to mean something. I think the message is being lost because I didn't see it on the stadium anywhere when I was there. That's for sure. But that is it for us, Coops. I think we've had our last say. We've got our score predictions in. Big game tomorrow. Hopefully we can take another 3 points there. That'll be a nice bonus heading into the weekend against Palace. We will be back here on Three Spurs Boys on Friday with the pregame show with Ellie and Little K. And that's pretty much it for me. You got anything coming up? You going on anything with Sava? You doing the premiere or anything like that?
No, Sava's ill at the moment with COVID.
Oh shit, that's right. Yeah, Sava, big up, bro. Hope you feel better.
Big up, Sava. Yeah.
Actually, those 3 messages. Sava, we hope you feel better. God bless you, my friend. Maddie Kushner, our condolences to you on the loss of your grandmother. Very sorry for your loss. 80 years old. Hopefully, she had a good life and yeah, your family is healing and there for each other. And to Biggie, a good friend of the channel and a good personal friend. Wishing him a very happy birthday today. And that's it for us, everybody. We appreciate you joining us today. And right at the end, plain old Bryce has jumped in. Who said of football being there is the one area where it's crazy is football now relies on a system. Yeah, it used to be individual magic, but that's what we were talking about before. But nice to see you, Bryce. For those of you here, appreciate if you hit the like and subscribe and all that button stuff and everything that you're supposed to do. Other than that, we will see you next time. Keep that notification bell on. And until then, come on, you Spurs.
Ange train. Woo woo. Yeah, it's happening.
What happened?
It's happening again. I'm feeling it. Yeah.
Yeah, you feeling it again?
It's just just talk about.
Come on, let's get on the train, baby.
We have won 6 out of the last 7. So Brennan Johnson's scoring goals. Things are happening. There we go. That's the Ange tray.
There we go, baby. Choo choo all the way. Big up, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. Have yourselves a great day and enjoy the game tomorrow. Choo choo.
Choo choo.
Choo choo.